it is generally helpful to let people know that you're recording a meeting. Yeah.
Is it? I had no idea.
It's just like the way that like they could have had any voice at all. Just be like, this meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Not recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
All right, AJ, welcome to another episode of Opt-in. We've got 5 minutes on the clock. Today, we're talking about the tone you have when you're on the phone with a prospect. Talk to me a little bit about how you feel about it. I know you have some strong opinions.
The tone. Yes, I have some strong opinions on that. No, I'm kidding. Tonality is something that is like, it should be obvious, right? That when you're talking to someone, you want to sound enthusiastic, you want to sound excited about what you're talking about. The fact of the matter is that a lot of reps out there who are calling hundreds of people every day, it's tough to stay active, excited, enthused throughout, all of your cold calls. So it's something that you kind of need to have in the back of your head, I think, constantly, to remind yourself, like, smile, get excited, like, be confident, know what I'm talking about here. And at the same time, you're also probably pitching some cybersecurity solution that really doesn't interest you at all. Or like, oh, wow, like HR technology, that's really jazzed up. Like, no one really thinks like that. So I think that a lot of reps need to, and this is what I used to do a lot, was inject personality through prospecting with like hobbies and interests and stuff you can bring up on the phone through the research that you've done. So Alex, for example, I know you're a big Mariners fan. Yeah. Yep. What if I were reaching out to you and I noticed that the Mariners just called up one of their top prospects, and that was like how I introed the call. It's like, hey, Alex, you were a big Mariners fan. Jared Kelenic, or whatever the heck his name is, just got called up. Are you excited? That's it.
It's pronounced Kelnick.
Sorry, I was close. But like, even leading into a call with that just automatically lifts the energy up in the overall conversation, and you can just launch into whatever the conversation is after that with that like heightened level to start. You go in at a lower level, it's way harder to bring it up when you're talking about, I don't know, cybersecurity stuff or HR technology.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a huge point you make about really starting with that tone. It's nearly impossible, I'd say, at least in my experience. If you start if you have some malaise or whatever to your tone, it's hard to pick that back up, because naturally the prospect who probably doesn't want to talk to you is going to notice and or mirror that tone. And then that conversation is not going anywhere. Right. So really kicking it off with you'd rather be overexcited or too excited to the prospect than under or like not excited enough about what you're selling. Right. I know we talk a lot about matching and mirroring tone, and that's super important, but you don't know what tone they're going to have if you've never talked to them before. So having some sort of baseline where you want to start and making sure that it's excited, it's not monotonous, it's interesting to talk to you to start is where you want to be. And then if the prospect is a mellow, chilled, laid back kind of guy, maybe, then you can sort of take a step back and relax a little bit. But sometimes the prospect is through the roof excited about who knows what. And then you have to take it even a step further, and you have to start at a good place to be able to reach there, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to take away from what you said is the matching and mirroring. Like, you can go in with too much energy, and if the prospect is just not there, it doesn't really make sense for you to keep holding on to all of that energy. You have to drop it a little bit. But at the same time, like, nobody wants, like a Ben Stein talking to them ever. Even if you match the prospect's energy and they are a bit lower, it doesn't help you to be monotonous, to not be excited. You don't come across as confident in what you're talking about if you don't sound it. And you have to sound confident. You have to sound personable. At the end of the day, you're a human being talking to another human being. And if you were to take that approach, that like monotonous approach, and talk to someone at a bar or on the street, whatever, they would think you're a total weirdo and not want to talk to you. And you just have to have that mentality when you're calling somebody, that like, this is just another person, and I'm a person, and we're just talking on the phone.
We're just two people talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things and I think one of the things that I sort of touched on a little bit that's really important is it involves the preparation, right? Because you don't just pick up the phone and immediately go, hey, right? You need to think in your head, all right, first of all, it's super important to think that every time you make a phone call, someone's going to pick up, even though that's not what happens, obviously. Keeping that mindset will keep you ready to have that conversation. There's a few other tips and tricks you can do as far as just like I said, like knowing what your baseline level of excitement or your baseline tone, what you want that to be consistently, and practicing that and keeping that up through your voicemails, matching it in your emails if you can, and maintaining that level of enthusiasm for what you're trying to sell through all that you do will make it a lot easier to do so. Any final thoughts, AJ?
No, I think you hit it all on the head. I'm downstairs. She's not.
Somebody just walked behind you, or you have ghosts. So
I'm literally alone in this room. So
I'm losing my mind. How's the lighting on my face? Good?
yeah, you're fine. Everything's fine.
The hair flippies going on. All right.
Ghosts, man.
I swear to God, I saw someone walk behind you.
Nope.
All right, AJ, 15 seconds. Tell everyone about opt-in.
Opt-in, quick 5-minute videos, no fluff, actionable tips. You can find us on our YouTube, on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram, and on the website, demanddrive.com.